U.S. President Joe Biden is vowing ironclad support for Israel as Iran threatens to launch a retaliatory strike. That country's supreme leader has said Israel must be punished for attacking the Iranian Consulate in Syria last week. Let's go to London and Abby Kugathasan, who has the details of what Iran is saying and the likelihood of this attack against Israel. Abby, good morning.
Good morning, Heather. It's been in the last 24 hours that we heard a threat out of Tehran, a promise really from Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei. As you just mentioned, he said that Israel will be punished. That comment coming after the killing of several Iranians in Syria last week, including a top commander, Mohammad Reza Zahidi. Israel hasn't taken responsibility for targeting the consulate building that's attached to the embassy there, but it's widely believed Israeli warplanes targeted these military and intelligence officials in Damascus. And we do know the New York Times is reporting that several Israeli officials did confirm to them that they were behind the attack. And as we heard, Iran livid. They have promised retaliation. And we heard an equally strong response from U.S. President Joe Biden. Here's what he had to say as he met with his Japanese counterpart in Washington yesterday.
We also want to address the Iranian threat. They're threatening to launch a significant attack on Israel. As I told Prime Minister Netanyahu, our commitment to Israel's security against these threats from Iran and its proxies is ironclad. Let me say it again, ironclad. We're going to do all we can to protect Israel's security.
Several analysts have previously told us Iran does not want a direct confrontation with Israel or the United States. They're just fine to keep using their proxies in the region to do their dirty work. So while analysts say this could look like Hezbollah launching strikes from Lebanon, it could be cyber warfare, but nobody's really expecting Iran to strike Israeli territory. But still, Israeli and American officials are coordinating on possible threats. We know there are high-level talks happening already, and the White House Middle East czar has called up countries, including Saudi Arabia and Qatar, to urge Tehran to back off, to de-escalate. And the Iranian Foreign Ministry has now said, yes, they've spoken to those neighbors. But again, these regional partners are in constant contact. None of these actors want a wider conflict. And in terms of all the attention this rhetoric is getting, a Cambridge professor, Roxanne Farman-Farmian, said that she feels the United States is using a possible Iranian strike as a way to deflect the story away from what's happening inside Gaza.
Well, let's talk further about that, Abby. We also know this morning that an Israeli airstrike in Gaza has killed the sons and grandsons of a top Hamas leader. So what is Hamas saying about that now?
Yeah, this is Hamas's political leader, Ismail Haniyeh, his 3 sons, 4 grandchildren killed in Gaza yesterday by Israeli forces. And there are reports this morning out of Israel that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was not consulted about the killings beforehand. Neither was the defense minister, Yoav Gallant. So we'll certainly be keeping an eye on these developments. But the IDF says that the adult sons were militants and they were on their way to conduct terrorist activities. But the statement doesn't mention the grandchildren. Now, Haniyeh, speaking from Qatar, that's where he lives, said the family was actually visiting relatives for Eid, calling this a cowardly strike. He also insisted that the killings of his family members would not change Hamas's demands linked to a ceasefire and the hostage release. The militant group, as we know, has previously demanded that the IDF end the war fully withdraw from Gaza and allow Palestinians to return to their homes in northern Gaza. Heather.
Abby Kugathasan, thank you very much.